coronavirus. It's the pandemic that keeps on going long after it should, like a zombie on The Walking Dead, or just The Walking Dead. Even as millions of Americans are getting vaccinated every day, there are places where coronavirus is still as out of control as a Zoom kindergarten, and no state has it worse right now than Michigan.
As new cases of COVID-19 surge in Michigan, state leaders are begging for a surge of vaccines.
Think about surging vaccines into the state of Michigan.
Some national health experts are rallying behind them.
We need to get in the habit of trying to surge resources into those hotspots.
And Michigan is a hotspot. COVID-19 positivity rates haven't been this high here since the start of the pandemic, and hospitalizations are nearing peak levels.
The Biden administration so far sticking to its plan of doling out vaccines based on population.
When you take it away from one state, you never know where you're going to have another surge.
Okay, look, this is a complicated situation, but I don't know if the Biden administration's logic makes sense here. You can't move vaccines from other states because they might get a surge? Yo, Michigan has a surge right now. That's like having a rhino on the loose and animal control says, sorry, we can't help you because if we come over there, a hippo might pop up over here. We can't take the risk. If you ask me, the simplest and fairest way to decide where the vaccines should go is you get a giant map of the United States and then you have Dr. Fauci throw a dot at it. Yeah. And with the way he throws, some doses might finally go to Africa. Yes, we did it, Africa. Oh, and now the CDC is saying that instead of more vaccines, what Michigan needs is another shutdown. But instead, Governor Whitmer is just suggesting that people stop gathering in groups and going to restaurants. Now, I know a lot of people are like, why would you do that, Governor? Why not do something stronger? Yo, in the governor's defense, don't forget, the last time she tried to mandate safety precautions, the state capitol got stormed and a bunch of crazy people tried to kidnap her. So I can see why this time she's like, you know what? You guys do your own thing. I'm not trying to get killed because you motherfuckers don't want to order takeout. And here's why the CDC says more vaccines aren't the solution. If a community starts getting vaxxed up now, it will still take 6 weeks before people there have immunity, which means it's far more important for people who are still waiting for the vaccine to just continue wearing masks. And while this should be easy for most people to understand, well, Florida still exists.
A new study found continued mask use could save 14,000 lives across the U.S. They say even the vaccinated should wear masks because of new COVID strains.
But down in Florida, defiance in Fort Lauderdale, where a crowd in the hundreds gathered for what was billed as a million maskless march, burning their face coverings. All while Florida continues to see increases in cases and deaths, experts pointing to mostly maskless spring break celebrations as a factor.
Wow. What a dream protest for Trump supporters. You get to destroy your mosque and increase carbon emissions. Woo! And in fact, according to a new poll, burning pile of mosques is now the front runner in Florida's next Senate race. For real though, people, this protest was ridiculous. Especially at the end when Matt Gaetz threw his phone into the fire. I mean, that was just weird. Why would he? Oh. On the other hand though, we are talking about Florida here. So I'm just impressed that they took off their masks before they lit them on fire. Oh, and just by the way, can you please stop calling your shit million something march, right? If you're not gonna get 1 million people, then don't use the name. What you should do is call it the 12-person march, so that when 40 people show up, we'll all be like, damn, look at that turnout, woo! Coronavirus vaccine, AKA People Magazine's sexiest vaccine alive. In the last few months, we've gotten all sorts of different vaccines. Pfizer, Moderna, AstraZeneca, Montero, but for at least a little while, it looks like there's gonna be one less.
Breaking news this morning, the CDC and the FDA have just issued a joint statement recommending a pause in the use of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine in the U.S. The agencies say they are reviewing 6 reported cases of a rare type of blood clot in people who have received the vaccine. Nearly 7 million doses of the J&J vaccine have already been administered in the U.S. Officials say these adverse events appear to be extremely rare.
Yeah, the FDA has temporarily halted the Johnson & Johnson vaccine while they look into 6 cases of rare blood clots in people who got that vaccine. And look, on the one hand, I get it. You don't want the vaccine for one disease to give you another disease. Like, I wouldn't want the flu shot if it also gave me restless vagina syndrome. But on the other hand, it's 6 cases out of 7 million doses. You realize that means you're more likely to get struck by lightning 10 times, which, by the way, is the origin story of Marvel's most useless superhero. Help us, Lightning Man! Help us! Help you? I need help! I've been struck by lightning 10 times! Call an ambulance! Yeah! Well, he's still better than Hawkeye. And don't forget, yes, you might have a 0.0001% chance of getting blood clots from this vaccine. But if you get coronavirus, you can get lung damage, heart damage, neurological damage, strokes, seizures, Guillain-Barré syndrome, immune disorders, erectile dysfunction, and get this, also blood clots. Honestly, if you ask me, I think it's actually impressive that Johnson & Johnson even made an effective vaccine with such a low chance of blood clots. I mean, Pfizer and Moderna, those are drug companies. Johnson & Johnson makes baby shampoo. I'm surprised their shit works at all. But still, there is no question that this is a setback. I'm not going to deny it. It's a setback for a country that is already dealing with a shit ton of vaccine hesitancy. Because even if they look at the problem and they decide that the vaccine is safe, you best believe for a lot of people the damage is already done. And I get it. I mean, imagine you're at a restaurant and the chef comes out and says, "We need to pause eating to make sure your dinner's not going to give you diarrhea." Even if he then says, "Never mind, your crab cakes are safe." By then, you've been thinking about diarrhea for 20 minutes, so you're probably just going to have drinks. But look, while this is a small setback, the US is still doing a really good job with its vaccine rollouts, which you have to admit is a little unexpected. I mean, given how America handled everything else about the pandemic, I wouldn't have been surprised if when vaccine time came around, America accidentally locked all 300 million doses in the trunk of the car. They melted! I didn't know it locked itself! In fact, one of the only countries that's doing just as well as the US is Great Britain. And today, they're celebrating the result of that success.
People in England can once again have someone else pour them a pint of beer and enjoy it while sitting in a pub garden. Now, that's just one of several coronavirus restrictions now being eased thanks to a fast vaccination rollout coupled with a falling death rate.
Many businesses reopened for the first time since January. Long lines of eager shoppers formed outside clothing stores in London. Some Brits got their first real haircut of the year. But for others, this is what they'd been waiting all winter for.
British people, I mean, the way we cope with being British is going to the pub as often as possible. So we've been denied that for months, and now we're like, okay, now we're back to normal.
Seeing everyone smiling, it really feels like it fills you with positivity and hope that we're going to get over this.
I'm on my 10th pint already, and I'm speaking straight. It's great.
Ooh, 10 pints. This guy doesn't even need the vaccine. The alcohol in his blood will kill any corona that gets in there. But that's right. The UK is finally out of lockdown. And that's in part thanks to a very successful vaccine program. Now, one thing that the British did differently is that they prioritized giving everyone a first shot quickly rather than making sure that people got both doses, which actually makes sense. You know, it's like if you have 10 pints of beer. You want to let everyone have some so that everyone can enjoy the party. You don't let one guy drink all 10 pints. That would be insane, Charlie! Oh, and another big difference between America and the UK is that the UK and a lot of other countries actually had a real lockdown. No stores, no pubs, no nothing. America never did that. And that's why right now some Americans are going, "Well, I don't get why my life will change with the vaccine." Well, yeah, for you it won't, because you never stopped going to TGI Fridays. We are now more than 1 year into this thing, but it turns out there are still little rays of sunshine to brighten our daily routines. Like this 82-year-old woman who may be the last person in the country who is still having a good time on Zoom.
Looking nice every Sunday since the pandemic began, Dr. Laverne Wimberley dresses up in her Sunday best to attend her virtual church service. There she is with those fabulous hats. She's a retired educator from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Dr. Wimberley was already known for her head-turning outfits at the Metropolitan Baptist Church. Now she's turning heads by posting a picture of her outfit every Sunday, sharing it on Facebook. Since the pandemic began, she's been very careful to not wear the same outfit twice.
Wow. This lady puts everyone at church to shame. I bet she even sees a statue of Jesus and is like, huh, sandals again? I mean, maybe this is why the British royals are so hesitant about bringing black people into the family. They know that black people are the only ones with a stronger hat game. And you know what? This lady inspired me. I'm not gonna let the pandemic get me down. I'm gonna cheer myself up by putting on a nice hat. Boom! Oh yeah. Oh, I feel so much sadder now. How did that happen?